Shedeur Sanders just got a $90 million offer to walk out of Cleveland. And the Browns? They're spiraling. Not PR spin panic. Not we'll regroup Monday panic. We're talking alarms blaring, front office melting down, veterans whispering in the locker room while ownership ages a decade overnight. Because when your star rookie, your golden ticket, gets offered a near nine-figure deal before he's even started a full NFL game, that's not a warning sign. That's your franchise obituary being drafted in real time.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Here's the insanity. Shedeur is the face of the Browns whether they want to admit it or not. He's the jersey flying off shelves from coast to coast. He's the headline every Sunday. The future everyone sees but the coach won't hand the keys to. Instead, Kevin Stefanski, stubborn, system-obsessed Stefanski, keeps riding Dylan Gabriel. Respect to the kid, but he's not selling out stadiums. He's not the reason national talk shows can't shut up about Cleveland. And while Stefanski digs in, the league is circling like sharks. $90 million. 65 guaranteed. Endorsements stacked. Creative control written in. One team even dangling stadium naming rights, as part of the pitch. That's not a contract. That's canonization. Meanwhile, the Browns, who already have Shedeur, won't start him. Let that sink in. Teams are gutting their cap space to lure him, and Cleveland's still acting like he's a backup project. This is dysfunction on brand for the Browns. A franchise haunted by its quarterback graveyard finally stumbles into a generational talent. And somehow, unbelievably, they're fumbling it. Again. But this time, the rookie isn't wide-eyed and grateful just to be here. Shedeur isn't begging. He's preparing to walk. And honestly, who could blame him? He gave them everything. Showed up in shape. Dominated camp. Outshined veterans. Kept it classy in the media. Did every single thing right. And Cleveland rewarded him with a seat on the bench while dangling the future in front of someone else. Now the clock is ticking. Because this isn't just a contract story. This is a standoff. And if Cleveland doesn't wake up fast, Shedeur Sanders won't just leave. He'll torch the franchise on his way out. You know what this story really is? It's the NFL's tectonic shift playing out in real time. We're watching the old school model, the be grateful for the opportunity, wait your turn model, get torched by a new generation that understands its worth. Shedeur Sanders is the face of that shift. Not just because of the talent, which is undeniable, but because of the leverage, the vision, the composure. He's not tweeting cryptic lyrics. He's not demanding trades through TMZ. He's not feeding the beast. He's quiet, focused, calculated. That silence? It's louder than any press conference. It's saying, I don't need to fight for a seat at your table. I can build my own. And that $90 million? That's a blueprint for every future star in the league. Why wait for respect when you can demand it? Why spend 3 years developing under a regime that doesn't believe in you, when the rest of the league is begging to hand you the keys? And the locker room? They see it. Reports say players are fed up. The offense doesn't trust the coaching staff. Defensive captains are openly questioning the direction of the team. A few veterans have even privately reached out to Sanders' camp in support, saying, you deserve better. This isn't just a quarterback controversy. It's a full-blown identity crisis. Because what happens when the future of your franchise doesn't want to be your franchise anymore? What happens when the guy everyone's been praying for, the guy who could change everything, realizes he's better off somewhere else? Cleveland has two options. Wake up, swallow their pride, fire whoever needs to be fired, and build the damn team around Shedeur. Keep clinging to the same broken philosophy and watch him walk, straight into another jersey, another city, and maybe, just maybe, into greatness. Let's talk about that walk for a second. Where does he go? Dallas? Jerry Jones would literally sell a yacht to get him in the building. Shedeur would become the face of America's team, in 5 minutes or less. Miami? Speed. Swagger. A media market that thrives on charisma. He'd be made in Miami. Las Vegas? Are you kidding? The glitz, the lights, the chance to be the show in a city built on spectacle? Shedeur Sanders could walk into any of those markets and become an instant legend. Cleveland, meanwhile, is sitting there going, we believe in the process. Your process is broken. Your fan base is exhausted. Your locker room is fractured. Your quarterback is halfway out the door with a 9-figure offer on the table, and you're still trying to spin this like it's part of the plan. It's not. This is not normal. This is not just rookie development. This is sabotage disguised as strategy. And the worst part? They had everything. The talent, the momentum, the attention, the once-in-a-lifetime shot to finally get it right. And they're choking it away. Again. So what happens now? Does Cleveland finally hand him the ball and say, "We messed up, lead us"? Or does Shedeur take that $90 million, leave this chaos behind and never look back? Either way, the message is clear. The NFL is changing. Power is shifting. And Shedeur Sanders? He's not just part of that change. He is the change. He's the quarterback the league doesn't know how to handle. The player who won't fit into their neat little mold. The kid who turns silence into leverage and leverage into legend. And wherever he ends up, that team won't just be getting a quarterback. They'll be getting a movement. Now it's your turn. Should Shedeur stay and force Cleveland to evolve? Or take the $90 million and rewrite history somewhere else? Who's really to blame here, Stefanski? Haslam? The system? Or is this just another chapter in the endless saga of Brown's heartbreak? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Sound off like you're the GM. Call your shot. And don't forget to subscribe for more player-led chaos, franchise meltdowns, and NFL power plays that shake the league to its core. Because in a league full of noise, Shedeur Sanders is the silence you can't ignore. This isn't some overhyped prospect griping about playing time. This is Shedeur Sanders, a cultural meteor with cleats on, staring down one of the NFL's oldest, most cursed franchises and essentially saying, "You either build this around me, or I'll burn it down on the way out." And now that $90 million offer? It's not just leverage. It's a loaded gun sitting on the conference room table. The kind of offer that makes owners pace hallways. That makes agents skip sleep. That makes front offices send desperate texts at 2 a.m. saying things like, "Still got time to fix this." But do they? Let's not forget how we got here. Cleveland didn't just land Shedeur. They lucked into him. A rare combination of talent, pedigree, poise, and brand equity. He's the kind of player that should have had 3 teams tanking just to sniff a chance at him. He's primetime's son, sure, but even without the last name, the game tape speaks for itself. This kid could sling it. And when the Browns got him, the city exploded. It felt different this time. The curse was cracking. Finally, the Browns had a quarterback who didn't feel like a Band-Aid. He felt like a beginning. And then what happened? They benched him. Let me say that again for anyone who just joined us from the "Why is my franchise collapsing?" subreddit. They benched him. Behind Dylan Gabriel. A capable backup, maybe. A short-term patch job, sure. But a QB1? Over Shedeur? Come on. You know what it felt like? It felt like someone gave Cleveland a Bugatti and they used it to make DoorDash runs. And now they're shocked that Shedeur's camp has taken calls. That offers are coming in from teams with actual vision, actual structure, and actual understanding of how rare this kind of quarterback is. Miami? Already clearing cap space. Dallas? Probably ready to write him a blank check and throw in a yacht if he wants it. Atlanta? Oh, they'd love to bring the Sanders dynasty back to the dirty South. Whole city would be behind him. And that's the thing, Shedeur doesn't just move the needle, he is the needle. He sells jerseys before he's even named a starter. He packs stadiums. He gets talked about on shows that don't even cover football. He trends on off days. So here's the $1 million, $90 million, question. How is Cleveland still fumbling this? Because this is no longer about one player's playing time. This is about the existential survival of a franchise that's finally been handed a lifeline, and might just throw it away out of pride. Pride from ownership. Pride from coaching staff. Pride from an organization still clinging to the illusion that they control the story. Newsflash, they don't. Shedeur does. He's not playing their game anymore. And that silence? That radio silence from him and his camp? That's not indifference, it's strategy. He doesn't need to say anything. He knows the clock is ticking. He knows the fans are screaming. He knows the league is watching, waiting, circling like it's draft day all over again. Because the second Shedeur says the words, "I want out," it's over. Trade packages will fly. Teams will start betting war style. Coaches will be on Zoom calls pitching offensive schemes built just for him. Stadiums will prepare welcome banners before the ink is dry. And Cleveland? Cleveland will be the punchline. Again. And the fans? Don't get it twisted. They aren't mad at Shedeur. They're mad for him. They're sick of seeing their franchise torch talent. They've lived through the carousel, the chaos, the maybe next year. And now, when they finally get a quarterback who could turn it all around, who could make them relevant again, the team decides to take its time. How much time do you think you have? The NFL moves fast. A quarterback like Shedeur doesn't stay on the sidelines forever. He either gets his shot, or he gets gone. Let's paint the picture. It's week 7. The Browns are 2-5. Dillon Gabriel has thrown 7 touchdowns and 9 picks. The fans are chanting "Start Shedeur" louder than the stadium announcer. National TV crews are zooming in on Shedeur's face every time the offense punts. And then the story breaks. Shedeur Sanders requests a trade. The building collapses. Stefanski resigns or gets fired or both. Players demand to be dealt. The front office spirals into PR damage control, claiming they had a long-term vision that was misunderstood. Meanwhile, Shedeur walks into his new team's facility with cameras flashing, teammates smiling, and the offensive coordinator already tailoring the playbook to his strengths. Within 2 weeks he's starting. Within 3 he's winning. By season's end, he's the story. And Cleveland? They're watching it all unfold from a bar stool, asking themselves how they let it happen. Again. Because let's not kid ourselves. This isn't new behavior for the Browns. It's just louder this time. More public. More painful. But if you've been paying attention, you know the cycle. Draft potential. Undervalue it. Muzzle it. Mismanage it. Watch it flourish somewhere else. Only this time, it won't be a what if. It'll be a what now. And you know what's poetic about all of it? The Browns didn't just need Shedeur to win games. They needed him to heal the franchise. To finally give fans something real to believe in. To erase the jersey with 30 names. To reset the clock. To stop being the NFL's favorite sad story and start being something else. Contenders. And they still can. But the window is shrinking fast. Because Shedeur doesn't need Cleveland. Cleveland needs Shedeur. And every minute they forget that, another team remembers. So here's the final whistle. If the Browns don't start Shedeur now, they won't just lose him. They'll lose everything he could have built. And this time, there may be no second chance. Shedeur Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. The most dangerous man in the NFL right now, and he hasn't even taken over a starting job. Yet. Let's be clear, this whole thing? The $90 million offer, the bidding war, the locker room rebellion, the fans protesting outside the stadium? That didn't come out of nowhere. This is what happens when a team refuses to evolve. This is what happens when a player walks in with vision, with swagger, with generational talent, and management looks him in the face and says, "We'll let you know when we're ready." Cleveland? You're not the ones in control anymore. Let's talk about the Browns' internal meltdown for a second because oh yes, it's happening. Sources say the locker room is split down the middle. On one side, the vets who know talent when they see it. The ones who've been in the league long enough to understand how rare a guy like Shedeur is, and how insane it is to let him rot on the bench while the season slips away. On the other side, the staff loyalists. The ones still preaching patience and process, like they're reading out of the same tired playbook that got them here in the first place. A legacy of blown picks, wasted talent, and heartbreak served cold every December. Meanwhile, Kevin Stefanski? He's standing in front of the media like it's business as usual, while the roof is literally caving in behind him. You can see it in his eyes. He knows what's coming. He knows the second Shedeur leaves, he becomes the face of one of the biggest, what could have been moments in franchise history. And Jimmy Haslam? Please. The man's built an empire out of indecision. One minute he's saying Shedeur's part of the future, the next he's doubling down on the veteran starter. It's like watching someone gamble the house, the car, and their last shred of credibility on a hand they know is trash. Let's call this what it is, fear. The Browns are scared to admit they blew it. Scared to admit they misjudged the moment. Scared to admit that a 22-year-old quarterback outsmarted an entire NFL front office without saying a word. And Shedeur? He's just waiting. Waiting for them to blink. Because the second they do, the second someone slips up and leaks something dumb, or contradicts themselves in a press conference, or benches him for one more week despite losing record, that $90 million offer becomes golden. It's not just money, it's freedom. And let's talk about that offer because it's not just one team behind it. It's multiple. It's a movement. The message is clear. Come here. We'll treat you like a star. Not a maybe. Not a someday. A now. Teams are salivating. Coordinators are sketching plays on napkins. Social media teams are mocking up jersey reveals. City councils are talking stadium name changes. Local businesses are already planning endorsement deals. And Cleveland? Still running practice drills like the season isn't burning down around them. Do you feel the weight of this? Do you understand what's really at stake here? This isn't just about losing a player. It's about losing hope. Losing the one thing Cleveland has never had at quarterback in the modern era. Certainty. Not a flash in the pan. Not a veteran rental. Not a maybe he develops by year 3. No. A star. A cornerstone. A future. And the Browns are letting it all slip through their fingers. Because they're too proud to say, we got it wrong. Let's make this personal. If you're Shedeur Sanders, how long do you wait? How many press conferences can you sit through while grown men talk about your potential like you're a prospect instead of a product ready to ship? How many throws in practice have to be ignored? How many team meetings do you have to attend while they act like you're invisible? At what point do you say, this is not the franchise I was promised? This is not the system that's going to build me. This is the system that's going to bury me. Because that is the danger. Staying in Cleveland and getting stuck in the mud of dysfunction. Becoming the next name on the jersey. The next almost. The next, he had it all but Cleveland got in the way. And that's not what Shedeur came here to do. He didn't come to fit in. He came to break the mold. You know what this really is? It's a case study in modern NFL power dynamics. Players are no longer just athletes. They're brands. They're CEOs. They're entire media ecosystems unto themselves. And when someone like Shedeur walks in the door, he doesn't need permission to be powerful. He already is. And the NFL? It's not quite ready for that. Front offices are still adjusting to the idea that their rookies aren't just rookies. They're influencers, entrepreneurs, negotiators. The old school control tactics? They're crumbling. Because a player like Shedeur doesn't wait for opportunities, he creates them. And that $90 million? That's the proof. So what does Cleveland do? Well, they've got 2 plays left on the board. Option 1, they swallow their pride. Name Shedeur the starter. Fire whoever needs firing. Hand him the keys. Build around him. Beg for forgiveness from the fans, the players, the universe. Hope it's not too late. Option 2, they let the offer sit. Let the fans fume. Let Shedeur walk. And become the franchise that had it all, and lost it. Again. Only this time? No one's going to laugh. They're going to grieve. Because it won't just be another bad decision. It'll be the one they never recover from. Because when Shedeur goes, he's not just leaving a team. He's leaving a message. To every player, agent, and franchise in the league. Know your value. Demand more. Don't wait to be respected. Make them regret not recognizing greatness when they had it. And he'll take that message with him. To Dallas. To Miami. To Vegas. To whatever team is smart enough to say, you want the future? Here it is. And he'll thrive. Because that's what happens when talent meets respect. When vision meets execution. When a player isn't just told they're special, but treated like it. So here's the real ending to this story. Shedeur Sanders wins. Whether he stays or goes, he wins. Because he changed the narrative. He forced the system to react to him. He turned silence into strategy. Doubt into dominance. And leverage into legacy. Let's talk about what happens if Shedeur stays. Really stays. Signs that he's committed. Puts out the Instagram post, suit and tie, Cleveland skyline behind him, some quote about loyalty and unfinished business. What then? Do you think the front office breathes a sigh of relief? Do they pat themselves on the back for playing the long game? No. They panic harder. Because now they have to prove they deserve him. Now they have to build around him. Now they have to fire the people who doubted him. Now they have to publicly admit they were dead wrong for letting this thing nearly implode just because they were too proud to start a 22-year-old with a Hall of Fame bloodline and a rocket arm. It's the worst kind of victory, the kind that exposes everything. And make no mistake, if Shedeur stays, it's not because Cleveland earned it. It's because he made a calculated decision to take the harder path. The loyal path. The I'll fix what you broke path. But that kind of loyalty? It doesn't come cheap. Not in today's NFL. Not when other teams are offering you more than a starting job, they're offering you a legacy. Let's paint that picture. Let's say he takes the $90 million. Leaves Cleveland in the dust. Steps off the plane in Dallas. It's a full media circus. Jerry Jones personally rolls out a star-studded press conference. The stadium's got new banners already. There's a Shedeur jersey in every team's store before the ink dries on the deal. ESPN clears 2 hours of programming. TikTok goes into cardiac arrest. And in that moment, Cleveland becomes the cautionary tale of the decade. Because now, it's not just that they lost Shedeur. It's how they lost him. They didn't get outbid. They didn't get tricked. They fumbled it. They benched him. Ignored him. Diminished him. And the whole league saw it. You know what happens next? Every rookie with a media following and a top-tier nil deal walks into training camp with more leverage than ever. They don't wait for the coach's approval. They demand it. Because Shedeur showed them it's possible. He opened the door. Broke the model. shifted the center of gravity. And Cleveland? They'll still be clinging to their development plan. Still spinning press releases. Still trying to convince a furious fan base that we had to make tough decisions for the long-term good of the franchise. Please. You don't get to call it long-term thinking when your house is on fire and you're watering the plants. Let's get real here. This is no longer about playbooks. This is no longer about earning your stripes. This is no longer about being patient. This is about power. And Shedeur has it. He has it because he stayed quiet. He has it because he performed when no one was looking. He has it because he knew the league would eventually catch up to what he already understood. He's not just a quarterback. He's a movement. And movements don't ask permission. They don't wait for green lights. They go. So if you're Cleveland, you've got a decision to make. You can either keep pretending you're in control, keep protecting the plan, keep insulting every fan's intelligence by acting like this is normal, or B, break the glass, pull the emergency lever, fire the right people, restructure the offense, start Shedeur, apologize to the city, apologize to the league, and pray. Because even if he stays, even if he gives you a second chance, you better believe the clock's still ticking. You better believe every single mistake from now on is going under a microscope. Because now you're not just managing a roster, you're managing expectations. You're managing a brand, a voice, a player who may just outgrow your city before you even realize what you had. And what if he leaves? Well, then it's simple. Cleveland will forever be known as the franchise that fumbled Shedeur Sanders. The one that benched a king to protect a regime. The one that watched $90 million walk out the door and still had the audacity to call it part of the plan. And every time Shedeur throws a touchdown in another uniform, every time he signs a new endorsement, every time he shows up courtside at an NBA game with a camera crew, a smile and a 3-0 record, Cleveland gets to live with it. Because this moment, this one right here, is not going away. It'll be the story that haunts them. The one the city remembers. The one analysts reference every time a team screws up a QB situation for the next 10 years. And Shedeur? He'll be just fine. Because he played the game behind the game. Because he understood that sometimes the best move is no move. And now, he's got the entire league begging to be his next chapter. So here's the moral of the story, kids. Never underestimate a quarterback who's quiet. Never ignore a rookie who knows his value. And never, ever bet against someone who learned how to play chess from Deion Sanders. Still with me? Good. Then you get it. This isn't about one team. This isn't even about one player. This is about a shift, a reordering of the old ways. A signal to every NFL front office that the next wave of stars? They're not waiting. They're walking in with their own plans, their own power, and their own price tags. And if you're not ready to build around them, they'll build without you. So now I need your take. Would you hand Shedeur the reins? Should he stay and reshape Cleveland? Or walk away and build a dynasty somewhere smarter? Let's hear it in the comments. Debate it, predict it, manifest it. And if this saga has taught you anything, hit subscribe. Because this isn't just football anymore. This is history being written in real time. And Shedeur? He's holding the pen.